Hello everyone, today I would like to discuss the question, how does radiation affect us? When most people hear radiation, they think of big and scary things like nuclear weapons or x-rays, or they think that all sources of radiation cause cancer like cell phones, microwaves, or TVs. So that's not always the case. We're actually affected by radiation more than most people realize. I'm going to show you this by showing you some of the chemistry of radiation, some of the sources of radiation, and how radiation actually affects us. So what is radiation? Radiation is the process of emitting energy in the form of particles or waves, according to the Webster Dictionary. So this is best described by the electromagnetic spectrum, which is broken up into two categories: non-ionized radiation and ionized radiation. Non-ionized radiation is on the low level of energy, and it cannot ionize atoms. But non-ionized radiation has high energy, and it can break chemical bonds, ionize atoms, and destroy nucleuses on an atom, which is what makes it so dangerous. So there are three main types that are talked about in ionized radiation categories. We have alpha, beta, and gamma. This is produced by the decay of an atom. So as we can see here, alpha, we can be protected by alpha provided it is our clothing or our skin, and it's only dangerous if we ingest it or inhale it, and it is exposed to our tissue. Then we have beta, which it can penetrate a little deeper, so we would need plastic or tinfoil to protect us from. And then we have gamma, which is the most penetrative of the three and the most dangerous, and we would need inches of lead or feet of concrete in between us to protect us from this source. So the electromagnetic sources are, on the left side, we have the non-ionized radiation. So we have radio waves, which are the longest waves and the least dangerous, which things that use this are radios, televisions, and cell phones. Then we have microwaves, which microwaves use, and then we have infrared waves, which are remote controls or TVs used to change channels. This is how we feel the heat from the sun, and this is what snakes use to detect warm-blooded prey. And then we have visible light, which is the only one on the spectrum we can see, and it makes seeing lasers possible, which laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission radiation. So then we have the right side of the spectrum, which is ionized radiation. We have ultraviolet rays on here, which is UV from the sun that we know, and this causes us to get burned. X-rays and gamma rays, which is the most dangerous because it's the shortest waves and the highest energy. Things that come from this is radioactive atoms and atomic explosions can put off this, and it can kill living cells. So then we have background radiation, which is all around us, such as cosmic radiation, which comes from the sun and the stars, and it goes through the Earth's atmosphere. It is highest with elevation, so say if you had a Pikes Peak, Colorado elevation of 14,115 feet, you would get more of this radiation there than you would at sea level. And then we have terrestrial radiation, which is radiation from the Earth, such as uranium, thorium, and radium, and radon gas. And then we have internal radiation, which is food, water, or soil that we would ingest. And did you know that bananas have radiation? So does that mean we can't eat bananas? No, we can still eat bananas because it's a natural form of radiation, and potassium-40 that is okay in our bodies we can metabolize. So how does radiation affect us? This is dependent on the length, amount, and type that we're exposed to. So what type is normal? So according to NRC, we're exposed to around 620 milligrams of radiation in an average year. Radiation comes from background radiation, from the Earth, the cosmic rays, and radon gas. And the other half comes from man-made sources like medical, commercial, and industrial sources. So how does radiation cause us to have radiation sickness? Well, you would have to be exposed to over 620 millisieverts, which is equivalent to 62,000 milligrams, which is a lot more than the typical 620 milligrams that we're exposed to averagely. So you would need to be exposed to this amount in a short period of time to get radiation sickness. And so, according to WebMD, the symptoms of radiation sickness is vomiting, fever, and other awful symptoms. So how does radiation cause us cancer? Well, this is whenever radiation penetrates our tissues and causes changes in the DNA. This is whenever we're exposed to high energy radiation on a long period of time, which is called chronic radiation. So now we know that not all radiation is big and scary, and not all radiation causes cancer, like microwaves, cell phones, TVs, like most people think, and that half the radiation we're actually exposed to is natural forms of radiation.